Hello, Macadores Football Fan TV. This is the match preview for Republic of Ireland against Portugal in the Aviva Stadium tomorrow. I'm joined in studio by Gary Spain. First time we've done this in a while. I'm excited and nervous all at the same time. It's a huge game, sold out. So no doubt there's going to be, an amazing crowd there. Whether that's for Ronaldo or whether that's for Ireland, that remains to be seen. But I suppose, how are you feeling going into this one?
Well, I'm delighted it's sold out. First of all, we'll put it that way, and I'm looking forward to having a full house for the first time in the Aviva since COVID. In any sport, actually, the rugby haven't managed it yet, but I'm sure they'll manage it on Saturday as well. So I'm really excited about that. Looking forward to the atmosphere. It's going to be a real test. It is a massive game. I know we're out of contention, but I think it does have implications. It'll be a real test to see how good we are, how far we've come. It's huge for Portugal. They want to qualify. They want to top the group. They're going to need at least a point to make their qualification. They've got the massive game on Sunday night against Serbia in Lisbon. But I'm really looking forward to it. And people say it's a free hit. I'm not so sure if it's a free hit. We don't want to get a tanking, but I'd like us to put in a performance and hopefully get some kind of a result.
Yeah, I think there's things to take into it. We know they're going to be without certain players. We'll come to that in a little bit. But I was speaking with Aaron from Proxima Jornada. I can't remember which way it was last night on the opposition preview. And they are missing a fair few. Now, the thing is about them is if we were missing the players that they were missing, we'd be extremely worried. But they have quality in abundance throughout their whole team. So they can lose with Bernardo Silva and they've still got a Cristiano Ronaldo. They can lose with Bruno Fernandes and they've got someone else there. They have quality. They've João Felix and all these other players. They have quality throughout that whole side, from defence, everywhere. I know they've got two our lads, so to speak, with Font and Pepe as well. Now, Font is on a yellow card, so is Ruben Diaz, so is Cancelo. So some of them may miss out, but Aaron was saying that it'll probably only be one of those defenders that misses out because they usually play. And he'll probably have one of them playing. Probably Font will probably play against Ireland, and Diaz then will probably play against Serbia on the weekend because obviously he's the better of the two, but they can't really afford to lose him against Serbia. And I think they'll be looking at this game. They don't want to lose it, but as they say, a draw or a win is good enough for them then to take into Sunday against Serbia. I think with us, the thing we need to be looking at is avoid. I suppose because it's going to be a sold out stadium, and maybe a lot of the fans that are going to be there this time around haven't really seen Stephen Kenny's team. And if we can get a result and the crowd are on his side, that's massive for him regarding the new contract, and take that momentum then into the Luxembourg game. Now, the only thing I would say is the last time we put in a serious performance against Portugal, only to be denied at the death by Cristiano Ronaldo with the 2 goals, is that we were so deflated then going into the other Luxembourg game.
Or the Azerbaijan game.
Or Azerbaijan, sorry, yeah.
No, I mean, there's a couple of things.
Well, we put a lot into the Serbia game and come into the Luxembourg game deflated.
So, I mean, there's a couple of things. I think we do need to put a lot into this. I mean, we do need to put on a performance. I mean, just the maths in the group. I mean, Portugal need 2 draws to qualify for the World Cup, but 1 win tomorrow will not be enough if they lose to Serbia. So a draw is as good as a win to them tomorrow night. And frankly, a draw would be a fantastic result for us. And I think that's going to be in the back of their mind. So they are probably missing Bernardo Silva. My understanding is he's only a doubt at this stage, but I think
he's got a muscle injury. Yeah,
he's got a muscle injury.
Didn't train yesterday.
Yeah. No, I accept, Paul. I don't expect to see him play, right? Because
because about 5 other quality players just as good.
I mean, that's the problem. I mean, you name some of the players that could be out, but look at the players that could be coming in as well. Portugal could potentially win the World Cup next year. That's what you're actually looking at.
Yeah.
They are one of the best sides in the world. But if I was the Portuguese manager, I wouldn't be risking anyone that could be available for Sunday. So the guys on the yellow cards, Ruben Diaz, etc., I don't expect to see the likes of Cancelo. He was brilliant at the weekend as well.
Yeah,
for City. I mean, I think he was involved in both goals. And what a player defensively as well as going forward.
6 minutes ago, Proxima Jornada Fernando Santos, we believe that Bernardo Silva will be available for the game against Serbia. So it
Against
looks as
Serbia.
though he'll be out, which is good.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Just in case anyone thinks I'm being rude, I'm just checking live tweets as we're going into it.
yeah, what I would say is they need a draw tomorrow night, and they have the players. They're more than capable of coming to Dublin and winning without Bernardo Silva, without Cancelo, without
Renato Sanchez, Diogo Jota, Ruben Diaz, Jose Font, and Cancelo. Yeah,
they're all in yellow cards. So I imagine a lot of them are not going to be risked. They will have more than one eye on the Serbia game. It's absolutely massive because Serbia are a quality side, particularly going forward. Might be a little bit suspect at the back, and I would fancy Portugal to end up topping the group. But they're going to be concerned. That match in Lisbon is going to be massive. I won't be watching it, obviously, because I'll be in Luxembourg at the same time. But I'm sure most of Europe will be keeping an eye on Lisbon, not on Luxembourg. But so that's going to be the thinking. They're going to feel they can come to Dublin and get at least a point with what they have. They can take an eye on players. They might risk one or two in yellow cards, and if they got a goal or two ahead, hopefully they won't tomorrow night. They probably will be taking those players off as well. They don't want to take any chances for Sunday because they can afford. And look, sadly, I have to say it. They can afford to play us without one or two. Playing Serbia without or six. Playing Serbia without some of their key players will suddenly become a lot more difficult because I really like that Serbian side. I think they're a really good side, and it'll actually be a cracking game on Sunday night. Probably one I'll record and watch when I come back. Maybe probably Tuesday, I suppose. At this point, I get a chance to watch it, but. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them tomorrow night. It's great to see these quality players in the flesh, even though I don't want them to perform. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it is all about us. It's all about Ireland tomorrow night, from how we're concerned. Yeah. And it is a great chance for Stephen Kenny to test himself and his team against the best in the world, because that's effectively what they are. Yeah, I mean, they are. I mean, they are one of the best. They are one of the contenders to win the World Cup next year. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. And then you're talking about Ronaldo, and you have to talk about Ronaldo. I know some people hate the hype, and they hate that so many people want to go tomorrow night because of Ronaldo, not because of Callum Robinson or Stephen Kenny or whoever else. But unfortunately, that is the reality. He is arguably the best player in the world, certainly in the top 1 or 2, 3 in the world at the moment, despite his age. And
could be in the best ever as well, in that category as well.
Yeah, potentially. I mean,
well, that'll probably be judged at the end of his career. Anyway.
Yeah, and I mean, we're not that far from the end of his career. It is probably the last chance to see him in this country. It's unlikely he will. Maybe Man United would come for a friendly in the Aviva next summer, because I know the FAI have arranged some of those in the pre-COVID times. Liverpool and Man United were coming to Dublin. So maybe there'll be another chance next summer, and I have actually no inside information on that. That's just a guess, but I know it has happened quite a bit with Liverpool and Man United. And but otherwise, unless we were to draw Portugal in the qualifiers for 2024, and will he still be playing in 2023 even? I don't know. Maybe he'll retire from international football after the World Cup, but who knows? He's in such fantastic shape despite his age. I think he's 36? He'll be 37 for the World Cup next year. He could well continue until he's 40. But look, the chances are, realistically, it's probably the last time to see him in the flesh in Dublin.
I think performing at a reasonable level. You know, he still is banging them in for Man United, regardless of how Man United are playing. He's still scoring the goals for them, you know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, he did it in the Champions League again for them just last week. Yeah. Oh, look, there's no doubting his quality. And look, we only have to look at our own game in September if anyone has any doubts about what he can do.
Well, I'm just hoping that he saves all his real motivation for Serbia on Sunday, when obviously he had that disallowed goal and he was fuming about. And I said that to Aaron on the opposition preview, and he was saying, you know, he'll be hoping that he'll be saving that revenge for Sunday, and he says there's no better man than a motivated Cristiano Ronaldo, you know. So I'm hoping that he's saving that motivation for the game against Serbia rather than us. In regards to us, I just think, look, if we can we can get a similar performance to Serbia at home. The crowd got behind us that day. Bazunu was excellent. If he can have a good game as well, because the likelihood is he will start. The likelihood is the defence probably be the same as the team that kind of finished that game over there with Alma Bamadelli, Duffy and Egan as a back three, and then whatever he does after that. But there's a bit of continuity there in the team, which is good to see. Seamus Coleman will probably be back as well, and Matt Doherty as well. So you've kind of got a good back five there if that's what he goes with. And then it's into the midfield. Josh Cullen had a good game against him last time. He'll probably go with Hendrick, and then whoever he goes there. McGrath had done really well over there. He's really out, well. Is he? No, he's in. He looked like he was going to be outside.
Yeah. Jason Knight back as well.
Yeah, you've got and Malumbi.
Yeah.
So you've got midfield energy in there, and then you've got whoever he goes for up front. The likelihood will be Ida and Robinson. That's what you'd like to think. But then again, Stephen does throw in an El roll bump here and there, which is fine if it comes off you type thing. But yeah, like it's going to be hard to obviously pick the team there. But if you're kind of going off how Stephen will ordinarily set up in recent times, it would be a 3-5-2, and it'll look to hit them on the counter like we did away from home. Now, if they're missing a couple of their key players in key areas, they're missing. They've got a few left backs and stuff like that. So Cancelo was going to be the one that came in instead of Mendes at left back. And then on the right side, I think they're missing a few as well. And then obviously in centre back, they're kind of picking and choosing who they're going to go with because they've a yellow card. So they're also missing Joe Mario. I think he set up Cristiano Ronaldo for one of his headers in that game as well, away from home. So they are missing. Obviously, we've spoken about they're missing players and stuff like that. But the thing is that they do have real added qualities. One player pulled out as well, and so they're stuck down with 25 men in their squad, and he didn't call up anybody else. They brought in Guedes as well from Valencia as well. So they're not as strong probably as they were when we faced them away from home. But look, I think if the crowd can get behind the team from the get-go, you've got good young players in that side, and they might thrive off being involved with the crowd. And all we need is a set piece, like John Egan's goal over there. We came close a couple of times against them, and then if Aaron Connolly had a shooting boots on that day, you never know. That could have been 2 or 3 before they scored.
I would argue we should have had a penalty at 1-0 as well, and that could.
Another thing to take into consideration here was the referee was absolutely abysmal that night.
Mr. Jug, wasn't he? He wanted to be the referee when Ronaldo broke the record, you know.
I didn't think he got his jersey or something after the game or something, or was that just a...
I think that maybe is a myth, but certainly the photograph afterwards doesn't do him any favours. I mean, referees are meant to be neutral, and he looked far too happy for me anyway, you know.
Yeah, not for me, but... I think there's a lot of positivity going into this game. We've obviously got the 2 wins there last month, and coming in off the back of them. Look, I'm not getting too excited over the opposition, but look, the whole thing was people saying we didn't win games, we didn't do this, we didn't score goals. We were emphatic in the 2 games.
Yeah, we've had 3 good games, because I mean the Serbia game before that.
Yeah, if you want to include
so
that,
I mean, well, I would say we've had 3 really good performances. Yeah. Serbia, we were still lucky to get the draw, but it was a decent performance against a really good side.
And 2 good home performances as well in front of fans.
Yeah.
And I think people don't actually take into consideration the fact that Stephen was so long without fans. Really, just when you think about it and you kind of go back, really had absolutely no luck. And you know, the crowd is a massive part of how Ireland play. When we can get behind a team.
It is home and away, because I mean we bring numbers. I mean the away end. So I mean even the away end for Saturday night is totally sold out, and there's loads of Irish going to be in the home end as well.
Yeah.
And I mean Luxembourg Republic of Ireland on a Sunday night is not exactly going to set the pulses racing across Europe, but that game is sold out, I believe, and we'll probably have. I think we're probably going to have half the attendance on Sunday night, which will be phenomenal support.
And Baku wasn't bad either, was it?
No, I mean there was about 150 fans travelled to Baku, which again was superb support in a very eerie, empty stadium. But you could just hear the Irish fans all night.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to be the key, is the fans. You know, and the players feeding off the energy of the fans and putting in a real good performance. You know, if you have Duffy and Egan performing at the back, you have half a battle. And obviously Andrew Bamadelli has been outstanding since he came in. Delighted for him. So you've got three really good centre backs there, and whether he goes with Seamus, the thing around this time is we don't have a lot of injuries. James Collins was the only one who you said to me off air. Callum O'Dowd came in for him. He'll probably play against Luxembourg. I don't imagine he'll play on this unless he's a late sub. But I think if you're looking at that, you know, we've got options. Left wing back, we could bring in Enda Stevens for that natural balance on that side. You could bring in Matt Doherty on the right. You could have Seamus in the back three. I would leave the back three as it was, in my opinion. But anyway, might be giving away my starting 11.
Yeah, I think he will. I think they're playing so well together. I don't think he'll mess with that.
Yeah. But I think Seamus will play regardless. I think Matt will probably end up going on the left side.
Yeah, maybe. Matt's done really well as well at right back, so
I thought
a right wing back, you know.
I thought he was some better left wing back. He did.
Okay.
He played against them over there.
Yeah.
And he was probably the best performance he's put in for Ireland.
So
And he does Portugal, doesn't he? With all the Wolves stuff and all that type of stuff. His agents is from Wolves and stuff, or from Portugal, sorry. But yeah, we've played them. We know what the fear factors should be gone at this stage, I think. Because we've played them, we put it up to them for 89 minutes. It was unfortunate. As you said, we should have had a penalty. There's no point in going back into it now. But I felt like we were robbed over there. So there should be a little bit of, okay, let's try and get them back. But we would have to be wary because people on that night had an off night. People like Bruno Fernandes, he wasn't up to his usual standards. I thought he was very poor on the night. Ronaldo, bar his 2 goals, didn't really offer that much throughout the game, from my memory anyway. There's players there, but we're also forgetting there's Andre Silva. I think he's still in the squad there for them, and he is a very good goal scorer. And I think he'll be a threat as well. He done well when he came on against us. So when you think that they're missing 1 or 2, as we mentioned, or 5 or 6, they still have players that can come in who are still playing for good teams. And the likelihood is their 5th or 6th choice player would walk into our team every day of the week.
That's the reality. I mean, there are Portuguese players who'll be sitting at home watching these games on TV who would walk into our team, you know. That is the reality. So, but look, you never know. That's the thing about football. Now, the only thing is maybe they were a little bit complacent in Faro in September. They saw what we did, so they will be more forewarned and forearmed. And obviously, they need a result tomorrow night, and they will make. I think damn sure they will get one. But I hope we'll really put it up to them, and it should be a cracking game.
Yeah, well, I suppose we'll finish it off with the usual match prediction or final score prediction from yourself, and I'll give mine after.
I'm going to go for 1-1. I think a draw.
Scoreline?
It is my favourite. It's our favourite scoreline. I've been right very often with it as well.
True.
Look, I think we'll get a performance, and I think we're capable of getting a result. And I think Portugal, they need 2 draws to top the group, and I think if it's 1-1 with 10 or 15 minutes to go, I don't think Portugal will be exactly throwing everybody forward, and I don't think we will be either. I think 1-1 would be a fantastic result for both sides, and probably just a bad result for Serbia.
So if it was 1-1, who scores first? They do, and we get the
I think we equalise.
Yeah, because I think that's usually the way the crowd gets up then towards the end of the game, like Serbia, I suppose. When I thought it went in off Shane Duffy's arse. It's just where I was sitting. But I'm gonna go. I'll probably go 1-1 as well. That's my head over my heart. I'd love to see us win 1-0, but I just don't see it happening. I think I'd take 1-1, as you say. You know, if we can get the crowd behind us, and late on, especially like the Serbia game, there was such a buzz after that game. Kind of, we can compete with these teams. So yeah, if we can get a 1-1 draw, or just put in a really good performance. Look, if we put in a performance where we're 1-0 up after 89 minutes and we concede 2, I'm still not going to be totally disheartened and say that was a poor display, because it was a really good display in Faro, only just to be denied. So look, if we can just put in a really good performance and just not get hammered and go out and compete and be in the game for the full 90 minutes, I'd be happy enough with that just for this game. And then obviously I'd be expecting a win against Luxembourg now to to outdo the
Yeah,
other
no,
result.
no. I think we do need to win in Luxembourg. And another thing, I know it means nothing for seeding or anything else, but I would like to finish third in the group. I think it would be embarrassing to finish below Luxembourg. And if they win in Azerbaijan, their game will be over before we kick off. If they win in Azerbaijan, we're going to need to get at least a draw, and obviously we're going to need to win in Luxembourg to get third place anyway, almost certainly. So. We may need the draw to get third place, and just psychologically, I'd like to finish in third place as well. So yeah, I think we going to Luxembourg. We'll do a separate preview for that, but that's a must win for me.
Yeah, 100%. Let us know your thoughts anyway on anything we discussed there, and let us know what you're thinking going into the game. Are you going to the game as well? Let us know, and yeah, if you see us outside the ground or whatever, come up, say hello, and we'll speak to you then. Thanks very much for watching, and take care.
Thanks, guys.